so I can be in the frame too. How's our light look? Let me take a seat.
I don't know. I'm
Looks
like,
great
how
to
does
me.
my hair look?
I forgot
Do
to...
I look mindful?
You do look
Demure.
mindful. Yay, demure. Good. I can't wait for that to be done.
I know you hate it. You hate it in the fire.
I love the creator that came up with it, but I'm a hater of the like. It's not you. It's everybody that uses demure, but actually isn't demure.
Oh, I know it's not me. I'm more sophisticated than I am demure, but they go
hand in hand. Hello, one-eyed. Hello. Welcome back, everybody, to DeluluCanoePod. We have a guest joining us today. We have Miss Chrissy. Yeah, because JP is on vacation, which we fully support. Everyone taking time, celebrating with their families.
I'm in town.
You're here.
I was here. I'm available.
You actually
I'm
asked
also
me.
Cold.
Oh, you're cold still?
It's fine. Oh. Yeah. Well, I was asking you if you were gonna do the show because JP's gone, and
I had said no.
And I was like, no, do it. I'll do it. I have things to talk about this week.
Yeah, you were really like on the news this week.
Mm-hmm.
You flat out were like,
I was channeling you and JP, and I was like, okay, I know what I got to do.
You like came to me and you were like, have you heard the latest update on this topic? And I was like, yeah, but we don't have a DeluluCanoePod. And she was like, bet.
So come here, let's go.
Let's talk about the tea. So first of all, I'm going to do my obligatory post to kind of get things going. But it is going to be 2025, literally tonight at midnight. Are you doing anything fun or exciting at all?
Yeah, I'm just doing like a very low-key dinner and drinks and movies and hot tub.
I love that.
I'm calling it hot tub time machine.
Ooh.
Because we might go into the future in the hot tub.
I don't know if I want to. Do I want to do that? Would I want to go to the future? I don't know.
Well, we have to because it's.
Oh, you're right. Technically, we are going into. I'm like, I don't know.
Literally speaking.
I like that. You're like, no dare.
I don't want to go into the future that far,
yeah, let's not time jump.
Future is scary. Past, you're like, I can kind of predict where I would want to go, and where would you want to go?
If I could go in time, gosh, I think I would go back to the past and like tell myself to like believe in yourself.
You go to past you. Everyone's like, I want to go back to this century and talk to this person or this great philosopher or this artist, and I'm just over here like,
I don't want to go that far. That's too much. I don't want to. I just would tell myself to like believe harder. You could do it. Don't let the bullies beat you up. It's fine.
Yeah, no, that's really sweet.
Inspire, Tell myself to treasure the moments that we have.
Hi guys, hello.
Welcome. I'm doing all the obligatory stuff, but we can actually start with our first thing on the top of our list today is some things that we've done in 2024, which have been awesome. I wrote down accomplishments, but it could literally be as simple as just getting through the year. I know a lot of people are posting right now on Instagram. They're like, year in review, and it can feel like very overwhelming. Like I felt myself looking at others' reels and feeling like, man, I didn't do as much this year as they did, or like I didn't travel as much, I didn't see as many things. And then I had to remind myself that like their journey and their experience is solely theirs. And I had to take a second to like appreciate that. Like I did focus on my mental health this year a lot. I worked a lot on my physical body. I did a lot of writing and journaling. So I'm really proud of that this year.
That's really great. Yeah, it's a good thing to point out that everyone, it's like subjective. Everyone has their own unique journey for the year, and it's so easy to be like, wow, they made 20 cosplays, or they went to all these premieres, or they traveled, they did XYZ, and you're like, oh, I didn't do enough. And then if you would go back in your phone, something like me right now, I'm just like looking at all the stuff like, oh yeah, I have so much to do, and I haven't done my reel yet for my videos or everything. I gotta go back 12 months.
You've got time.
I have some time, but then like take into consideration that there are people that didn't have the means or weren't able to travel or make new cosplays or accomplish what their personal goals were for themselves. And it's okay that you didn't get as much done as you wanted to this year. It's okay that your feed doesn't look like somebody else's feed. Yeah, that's totally fine. Like there's things I wish I had time to do because I'm interested in too many things.
Same.
Yeah, I like want to do all the things.
Your Gemini has been like really like, why don't you do this there? Like we're gonna be really fun. Like the angel devil on the shoulder. Why don't you make more games? Don't you want to make like 8
I know. I need to make little pictures and like just of me.
A little goblin.
Yeah, like, hi guys. Yeah.
You need like one that's a goblin, and what would the other one be?
Because like a fantasy fae creature that's lighthearted and cute, and the other one's just like a troll, like a goblin. The other one is the makeup troll. The goblin that sits on my shoulder and tells me to do things and say different things.
We love the goblin troll here.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of traveling. I made a handful of things. I decided to not stress new big, like, handmade builds for costumes this year, and was just like, you know what, I don't have a lot of time. I'm putting my efforts into other people and other people's projects, and I'm just going and buying stuff that's already pre-made or closet cosplay, and I'm modifying and altering things and just making stuff that other companies are making and wearing, and not trying to be like, I need to make this from scratch in a week for this convention. I went to the UK. That was great. There was a week where I got on a plane like 6 times in September. That was great too. I'm going to post those videos of me getting on, off plane, all the different airports, and just be like, I did a lot this year. All work related.
You did the most traveling. Yeah,
I did the most.
Did a lot. Yeah. Well, congrats on making it through the year.
Yeah, we did it. And now we have so many plans next year. We've got the first 3 months booked up.
Yeah. I really thought, like, the whole reason we started Delulu in January was that I was saying how much I dislike January. And then all of a sudden this year, it's like, oh, there's 85 things happening in January. Cool.
Yeah, great.
Awesome. Great. I just want to take a second and go through chat. Looks like we got some people that signed up for the member tiers. Thank you all so much. Yay. Look at how cute those little emojis look. I'm going to fix them. I want to let you all know they're not the way that I want them to look, because I found a better way to make them look better. So don't fall in love with them. I'm going to update them and make them look a little bit more professional. But thank you all so much for becoming a member. If you are interested, you get little fun emojis that say no thoughts. It's a cute little cat. There's the what bear emoji, and then there's the I'm annoyed dog. So, and the hydrate that I drew. So be sure to grab those. Happy New Year, everybody.
Let's see what the chat is saying.
Let's get into the tea. We have no Sabrina Carpenter tea this time, which everybody always asks me for the updates, because I'm like,
is there a lot of tea that follows Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah, because she was like with Shawn Mendes, and then she wasn't, because Camila Cabello stole him back. It's a whole thing. I'm a big fan of her.
The romance tea.
Yes.
So romantic.
Big fan of her because of like her
stirring my tea
music and her discography and like the 10-year thing I really vibe with. But the first thing that I do want to get out of the way is the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni situation. I was going to say situation, but it's a mess. And I just want to formally apologize on behalf of myself, because when the situation first came up, I sided with Justin Baldoni when this whole campaign was coming out about how Blake was a terrible person and she says a lot of really mean things and she's awful to work with on set. And we all knew the divide where all of a sudden the whole crew was on Justin's side, and the cast and like people on the other side of making the film, like the writer, were all on Blake's side. So I, having set experience, was like, well, if the crew is siding with Justin, then I imagine that Blake must have been difficult to work with, because usually the crew will side with the person who's least problematic.
Because, I mean, they're there and they're seeing what's happening.
Not knowing that they were employed by him. Mm-hmm. So if you read some of the tea, actually, do you want to, because you watched a lot of the videos.
Sure, yeah. So, and this was like, 3 months ago when they were touring.
What's the film called? Do you remember?
It Ends With Us.
There you go.
It's based off of a book. And, and like, when you think about PR and marketing and what the internet and what news outlets decide to show you about what people are saying and doing, it's face value. That's what you get. That's what you're taking. You're like, oh, they're highlighting Blake Lively said this comment to this reporter or this person interviewing them, and like, that was kind of weird, kind of rude, off mark. And I don't really care much about that, or the way she was promoting something. But you don't really think about the insider, like what's happening with contracts, obligations to say things. Why is Justin Baldoni, now him and his crew and his team, saying negative things about why are things being subpoenaed all of a sudden?
Right.
And so we watched a couple of videos from some, pretty, reputable, trustworthy YouTubers who did some deep dives and put some pieces together. Mm-hmm. And once stuff came public about the subpoenas, the text messages, when you do the math, what ended up happening was, while on set, while Blake was filming with Justin, who I don't know if he wrote the script, but he directed it. He starred in the film as, if spoiler alert, her abuser in said film based off the book. Mm-hmm. And his production company, who is owned by some big billionaire, is called Wayfair.
Problematic name.
All the crew was worked for Justin. It was all part of this production company, and gave him money to make this movie. And during filming, he was basically sexually harassing her and implying a lot of really just unethical, immoral, gross things, showing pictures of his nude wife, talking about sexual, like, their sex lives, even not just to Blake Lively, but according to the I guess lawsuit, if you will, the employees of Blake's, and maybe even his own employees, basically not just like innuendos or jokingly, but having his friends and having people that were didn't need to be on set were there, and hiring like his best friend to play a doctor delivering a baby where he was like inches away from Blake's genitalia in a scene that she was barely covered up for, implying like she should be topless in certain scenes that was not required, improvising kisses and
biting her lip
and like inappropriate. So all of this was happening on set. She went to HR, like HR coming in. Where are you this year?
Yeah.
HR, human resources, and filed this complaint and renegotiated a new contract by saying he's not going to do all of these things that he's been doing.
Good on her for speaking out, because I feel like a lot of times, like I myself have been a victim of somebody on set essentially overstepping boundaries. I wouldn't say essaying me, but going beyond in order to have a physical touching connection with me. And I said nothing. I literally was just like, I just get through it, because it's better to just get through it and not ruffle feathers. So I give her a lot.
And you don't want to be the like problematic person on set was difficult to work with.
Yes.
It actually just yesterday, Kate Beckinsale came out about a time where she like experienced something similar, and I didn't feel like I could come out and say anything about what happened to me on set. So and that just kind of goes back to the Me Too movement.
It does.
It really does. So during this time, Justin Baldoni's production company or himself hired a crisis PR company. Those exist. The same crisis PR company that Johnny Depp had hired against Amber Heard when all of that was going on. And this company's job is basically to do a smear campaign against that particular person.
Yeah.
And make them look bad and make us all not like her, what she said, how she promoted the film, what she was wearing, what she was saying, what she was doing, everything about that. Even if she was contractually obligated to say certain things about a certain production, about the film, and the way that she promoted the film was, hey, this is about a domestic abuse survivor who
she didn't do that.
Well, she didn't do that. She didn't really do that.
Sony, but it wasn't up to her. It was up to Sony.
Right.
Sony was the one that was saying, like, encourage women to wear their florals and it'll be fun. And she got a lot of flack for that, because that's not what the movie's about.
Well, it's not about that, but the way she wanted it to be is she wanted to be like, I'm not this character isn't a victim. Yep. She's a survivor, and she's taking her power back, and she's got this flower shop, and it's this whole like, healing journey, whatever. I didn't see the movie. I didn't read the book.
I didn't either.
But like, if she'd been able to go in that direction and was legally allowed to say those things and push that narrative, we would have had a much different opinion about her personally.
Right.
During that time when she was promoting the film last summer.
Because people were putting their two interview experiences against each other. They were saying, like, look at how great Justin is because did I say his name right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Look at how great he's doing because he's openly talking about, like, domestic abuse and how to survive it, where she was doing, like, following the protocol that Sony had asked for, but we didn't know at the time. So, yeah, I feel like, to put it out there, I apologize for siding with somebody without really knowing all the facts. I don't think Blake deserves to be canceled over all the situation. I do think, though, she needs to look into how she does respond to people, because the interviews really put a bad taste in people's mouth, especially like a lot of my friends are interviewers. So I know how uncomfortable interviewing can be and how difficult of a job that is alone on its own. So, yeah, I don't obviously agree with my standpoint in the past. Hope y'all will forgive me. So
I don't even know if I had a standpoint. I was just kind of like, no, I think I just stepped away and I was like, well, she's not handling this really great, but I didn't see very much of anything from Justin Baldoni. Like, he'd said some stuff about, like, I read this book and I was like, I know I have to make this movie. And then when things were
that clip is so funny now.
And when things were happening now, like, there's a lot of gross behavior about this guy who is clearly this baddie, awful, bad person in this movie. And then in real life, he's doing similar parallels to like what real life set was like for him. But then the text messages are so damning.
Yeah.
Going after her and like people in this company celebrating like her downfall in the entertainment industry. Like she had her husband Ryan Reynolds come in to help rewrite, I think, some stuff and edit some stuff, because there's a whole different edit of this film versus what I think was put out.
No, her edit's the one that got put out.
Okay.
Justin's is the one that got redacted.
So who knows?
Yeah.
But
we also don't stand behind Ryan coming on set and writing, because that was during the writers' strike.
It wasn't. It was not during the strike.
That it wasn't?
Yeah, it wasn't during the strike. In fact, they wanted her to come in and work. I don't know that many details, but they wanted her to come in and work and do some stuff on it during the strike, and she said no, she refused to. So she was already probably difficult to work with right there in that moment. But no, they didn't do anything during the strike, according to what I read and found. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong later. Slide into my DMs. Or comments if you have other sources. We don't have 100% hardcore facts.
No,
here.
we're not the news.
We're hanging out and we're talking about things. We're having a conversation. But yeah, so good. Yeah, I mean, apologize. Like, we'll see what happens with that. I feel like it's going to stir another Me Too movement going on, and other actresses, hopefully men or women actors, will come forward with how they've been treated on set, and we can start the discussion again and be like, what can we are so close, guys. What can we do to like prevent? We've locked up some of the really bad people in this industry. Like, what can we do to like really make sure that it doesn't happen again?
Yeah. And that's what's most important, is everybody looking at it and seeing that this is still happening. And then how are we going to make a change? Like, obviously there are intimacy coordinators that are now involved, and that's now a job, but I don't think that that's enough, because there's a lot of fine lineage happening with the intimacy coordinators.
There wasn't get into one on set either.
Yeah. Good point. No intimacy. But
anyway,
moving on.
Still in the Christmas holiday mood?
Kinda. I'd say so. Yeah.
Well, who do we know likes to drop bombs around Christmas time and does posts and content and media that shocks people?
I
like
would
right before Christmas or right around Christmas.
Ooh, I'd say Mariah Carey, but I don't think that's who we're talking about.
It's totally not. She creeps in the day after Halloween to tell you it's getting ready.
But no, we're actually going to be talking about Kim Kardashian.
Yes.
And I haven't seen this video yet.
Oh, you didn't watch it yet?
No, I haven't had a second. But
it's like the best 5 or 6 minutes of your life. No,
it's 6 minutes?
No, well, okay, Santa Baby is not that long a song. Oh. So Kim Kardashian decided, and like some people have their opinions. Some people are like, oh, she's just popping in to do this, shock factor wow thing to be relevant again, because she's not relevant right now. And I'm also like, I don't know how she's not. I mean, I hear her name in Skims as a company all the time. And anyway,
I think that's the only relevant part of her right now, because no one's watching their show.
I was going to say, no one's even talking about the show. Yeah. And of course, everyone's doing like a lot of the P. Diddy stuff right now in that conversation. But so she decided to cover Santa Baby. And I think she's done it before, but she did a whole music video. 2 directors, 1 woman, 1 man, who directed this video. It's very artsy, like it's something that you could submit it like some film festival, art for the sake of art. And she's singing in it. It is the song. She actually isn't lip singing at all, but it's kind of a long one take. Think of 1980s VHS distortion in the way it's shot. It's kind of like someone's got a camcorder, like a handheld camera, and they're just recording her. And she kind of starts off leaning up against the wall. She looks beautiful, of course. She's got blonde hair.
Oh,
and
she's again.
It's probably a wig. Oh. And they all wear wigs. She's very kind of sultry, but in a not like childlike way, but like just being stunning and sexy. Like it could be some expose, like they could have done a photo shoot there for some modeling campaign, but it's in like some house, and it's a long shot of her crawling on the floor, and it's kind of provocative depending on what she's doing. But she's just kind of posing and like looking a little like whatever, while the songs that she's singing in the background's going. And it's very breathy. She sings very breathy, which is fine, but it's creepy and it's odd. And
we know she's obsessed with Marilyn Monroe.
It is very Marilyn Monroe.
So I feel like she's trying to.
But the camera like shows her, and in the background, like there's these businessmen talking with each other and like arguing about something. There's like I think like a nun laying on the ground saying something. There's a donkey, like something that was pulled from the nativity scene, and it's like there was a Christmas party happening, but it almost looks like a frat party. And there's lots of symbolism, things that are symbolic that mean something. You can break the whole thing down and have your own opinion about what it is. Yeah, but people are like, they're like, it's tasteless. It's not very high quality. It's like really weird. And like, I'm also kind of here for weird. I like weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's definitely outside of her box for what she normally does, I guess, as an artist.
Which is probably why she did it, because like if she did the same boring shtick over and over again, I don't think people would be talking
like
about
popping
it.
out a present. Here's my butt. You know what I mean? Things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the punchline of the entire thing is towards the very end of the video, after she's been crawling around and like hanging out on the floor of this house, because they kind of go in like a circle around this house and end up back in like the living room area. It kind of pivots over to who's holding the handheld camera on her the whole time, and it's Macaulay Culkin. Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin, which is like full circle Christmas vibes, but also kind of weird. But he's got this grin on his face, and he's in a Santa suit.
Okay, and
he's got the camera in his hand, and I'm just like, I feel a way about this.
Yeah, interesting. Okay,
yeah, I think it's cool and fun. I don't think there's anything weird to look into, but when people have time, they look into things.
So far, chat is saying it's 6 minutes long, which is the same amount of time as her corn video.
Oh no!
I put her on the map, so that's probably why it's long.
There we go.
Let me see.
Her corn video.
Honestly, the first time I've ever heard of it, it says one-eyed. I also did not hear about it till Chrissy brought it up to me.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Kardashians are completely off my feed because I feel like I've told the internet, I've primed my algorithm to only send me influencer stuff that no one cares about. Like that's what I get hooked on. So I don't get a lot of the Kardashian stuff. Let's see. Wait, Kim sings is what people are saying. She's attempted singing many times, but it doesn't ever take off for her.
I think she attempts singing no different than Paris Hilton attempts singing.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
Which is fine, you know, and like we've got so much technology now with
does she sing better than her daughter? Is what Coach asked. Do you remember when her daughter got? Oh gosh,
I don't know if I
they
know
did
that.
like a Lion King like yay 20-year thing, and
yes.
North was the kid that they picked,
no.
and it was painful. Like I just hear her in my head
she's
doing
not
the end note.
as she gets older and to her teens about that.
It's so bad. Yeah, I didn't see it. I feel like I should now because I'm invested and I gotta know.
You gotta watch.
It's very interesting. I give them credit though for staying relevant because it's working. It gets people talking.
We're talking about it.
Yeah. Speaking of talking about things, there's a lot of stuff happening in LA and New York around this time of year because it is the holiday season. Lots of fun stuff to go to. And I heard you compiled.
I have a short list for LA.
Okay.
Like a short list. So there's a lot of stuff happening in Los Angeles, Southern California proper, for New Year's Eve. Like I do know a lot of people who are staying home, staying on their couches, being comfy and toasty, and like watching the ball drop in New York, which that New York will hit 2025 before we do. They are in the future.
Wow.
But there's stuff happening at Clifton's, which is downtown LA. It's like they're doing like a Metropolis ball. So there's going to be basically, it's like science fiction 50s-esque theme, flying cars, video phones, drones, robots, AI, space, weird stuff. Really cool DJs dancing. If you've ever been to Clifton's, it's like 3 or 4 levels. There's a speakeasy, like a hidden tiki bar on the top level. It's really, really cool. Tickets are still available. There's a lot of, stuff happening in Koreatown. Break Room 86, which is owned by the Houston brothers. That's a very cool. They have like karaoke in there, and we went to, that one place after
Babes in
Thailand?
Yep. I don't know what that place is called though.
Oh, Davy Wayne's. Good Times Davy
Okay.
Wayne's. So they own places like that. Themed bars, themed restaurants all over are doing stuff. There's a Midnight Mayhem Masquerade, and that's at the Pink Pony Club.
Oh.
Well, aka the Abbey. I think the Abbey's gone now. So yes, West Hollywood is definitely going to be hopping. Not as much as it is during like Halloween. You don't go to West Hollywood on Halloween. It is overwhelming. So many people. There's also the LA Noir event at the Biltmore, and that's basically, I think, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s theme. The same people who put on Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade Ball. So they're doing, think of like Prohibition time, speakeasy. People dress up in more retro, pinup-y, like old school kind of, attire with glitz and glam. And they've got music and DJs and bars and things like that. And then, of course, something at, New Year's or at midnight. There's museums that are actually doing events.
Really?
The Ojai Valley Museum does a New Year's Eve spectacular, and that's like adults and kids, so you can bring your families there, which is nice to have the kids do something on New Year's Eve. Yeah, there's just a ton of things. I went actually to the Anaheim Garden Walk, which has restaurants and bars and a bunch of spots. Like they're like a giant kind of courtyard. They're doing something as well. I'm not a theme park person during like New Year's or Christmas or Thanksgiving, so I don't know if any of the theme parks are doing anything fun.
I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
Well, because when you work for them, you're gonna
you're gonna go there.
Oh, I'm gonna go run up by the castle.
I'm gonna go to work.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Well, because if you were working, you would run out and then watch the fireworks and be like, okay.
But yeah, and of course the casinos that we have all over town are probably doing have like live acts and live bands. Like someone is, I don't know, English Beat is performing at the San Juan Capistrano. English Beat is an 80s band.
Oh,
like really cool. I couldn't even think of the song that you would know off the top of my head. But there's a place having a roaring 20s bash because we are in the 20s still, so that's gonna be the theme. And it makes me wonder when 2030 comes around, are we gonna be like roaring, like are we going into the 30s again? Because
history repeats itself. So
yeah,
as does everything.
But yeah, there's just some stuff like that. So whatever you do, just be safe and try not to drive anywhere. And if you do, drive safe and get a designated driver. Use your Uber and Lyfts. Use your friends. Hang out. Be chill. Stay indoors. And if you have animals, be mindful of the fireworks and firecrackers that people are going to be lighting up all night. And,
I recommend not driving at all. Go to where you want to go to, and like as soon as midnight happens, get out. Because like once you hit like 1 or 2 or 3, that's when people get behind the wheel when they really shouldn't be.
They're leaving their events and their parties.
Even Christmas night, I went to my P.O. box, which is like a bit of a hike for me. But I went there, and on the drive there were at least 3 people that were doing crazy driving maneuvers that they should not be. And I was like, it's Christmas. What are you doing? So anyways,
like, what are you doing?
Be careful. If you do decide to drive, I don't know.
Don't.
Just be careful. Just don't. Honestly, that's the best advice I can give on that.
Yeah.
But after the new year, I'm hoping we can put behind a lot of negativity behind us. But before we get to the new year, let's dive into the negativity that we're leaving behind in the Only Flapjacks community. There is a creator that is going viral. Let me make sure people didn't say anything. Wicked's on Amazon. Oh, yay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Great. Guess what I'll be doing tonight.
Finally. I still haven't seen it.
It could be a New Year's resolution for me. Haha. Very funny. Be throwing back some NyQuil. Oh no, are you sick, Yasmin?
Oh
no. Wait, Yasmin, I have
a hard time sleeping.
I have the things you made for me. The bracelets you gave to me in New York.
Candy.
They're on set.
We love that.
Thank you. And ladies, go see your doctor. That was the one wish Yasmin had, was for me to remind everybody, go see your doctor, get a checkup. Tra-la-la-la. Okay, so there's a couple things I wanted to talk about because they personally relate back to my life and like my career. And I'll keep them pretty brief. I don't know if people have heard about them, but I do think it's important to shed some light on some topics that people are making some questionable choices in the industry. So if you all don't know, I have an Only Flapjacks. Big surprise. Everyone's shocked in the comments. And there's a girl, her name's Lily Phillips, who decided to try to break a record and have some spicy times with over 100 men in 24 hours. And it's just really the reason I want to bring it up is because I have been seeing in my like content creator friend groups that everyone's just trying to outdo each other to try to be like the top 0.01% or like the most notable girl who has an Only Flapjacks. And the toxicity of that has become so like disgusting and like so greedy that this woman, Lily Phillips, felt the need to do this act for whatever purpose. And it was actually an article that was in Rolling Stone. So a lot of people have had their eyeballs reading this article. And basically she made a, what's it called? They have a clip of her that's going viral where she's like just crying and is like very distraught after the whole day of shaboinking that many men. And she talks about how it took the experience was fun at first because it was like fun and new, but then all of a sudden it became like very repetition, like the same thing over and over again, like bringing them in the room, hanging up the jackets, here's the bed, do the thing, get out. And I was very shocked that somebody would want to do that and actually like make like what's it called? She made like a video about it where it's like recapping the whole thing. It's a documentary. That's what it is. She made a documentary recapping the whole thing. And what's later on...
Are you shocked that she did it or that she documented it?
I'm shocked that she documented it.
And made it public because she could have just... I'm sure there might be other content creators in ONOF that are already just doing similar but aren't documenting it.
Yeah. And I guess like to take it a step further, when people started doing some research, because she pulled together like a small team to help her organize and like go through all the applicants, because they did an open application to anyone, which is terrifying. And no one was tested for other things. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. And then they also didn't even do a background check on any of the men. And it raises the question in my eyes, like, when are we going to stop or put legal actions, barriers on content that is rage bait or dangerous for people to be watching? Because now I can already hear the other content creators in the back of my brain going, I'm going to do 102 men to beat hers. I'm going to do 300. You know what I mean? Like, if we're already at this level of trying to outdo each other, when are we going to make it stop? How do we make people not do these things? You can't. And unfortunately, shock value is the easiest way to get attention. And clearly it worked for this girl because now there's an article about her in Rolling Stone. So I just wanted to have that conversation because I was baffled.
I don't have commentary on it.
No.
When it comes to the only thing I'm trying to like think of what's relatable for me, and the only thing I can think of is
there's not a lot of relatability in the story. I just find it fascinating.
It's like when a character in a video game or a movie or a show comes out, and every single cosplayer immediately goes straight to making that and breaking it down and making the costume and throwing up the first photo first because they have to be first to share the cosplay, the character, and bring it to life with what they made. And that died down a while ago. No one does that anymore.
That's a lot.
It used to be a thing, though. Some new skin on a character from some video game would come out and was revealed, and then you'd be like, okay, within the next hour, 2 or 3 or 4, by tomorrow, someone's got a photo. They made it a thing, and then it went viral or whatever the case may be. And like no one, I don't. That's too much stress and too much work, and I don't think anyone does that anymore. And I'm like, thank God, that was just too much at the time.
And like, I hate to say this, but like, who cares if you're the first to do anything? Like,
it's a different time.
I don't know. Maybe that's just my mind where it's just like, who cares? But regardless,
it's not like they're getting paid for it either. It's not like there's monetary value out of it. I mean, with this though, that's financial gain and notoriety. It's not like I mean, OF doesn't have like a featured page, right? Like, how does anybody else find out about this person?
That's probably why she did the documentary, to get eyes on her content. And
now she probably has it, and people might want to watch it. Maybe it's, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it so like toxic, and it's just not like, if there's any content creators watching or anyone who also has an Only Flapjacks, like, your safety should be the number one priority. I'm very shocked that her team didn't do their due diligence of background checking.
How do we know that they didn't? Maybe
somebody came out.
The shock value of it, like,
could be
they didn't, and she didn't do that, and then
I thought one of the applicants came forward. I think is what it was.
And they're like, they didn't ask me these questions. They didn't test me for this. I just went in.
Because they even had guys back out, and so they just had to grab random people.
I mean, and also
who knows? Yeah, could be all lies.
The folks who did this, they're also risking themselves too.
Yeah,
which is so interesting to me.
Some people will do anything for a shaboink.
Yeah.
Oh, on another not so grim topic that you can relate to.
Yeah.
There was a content creator named Matilda de Jerf. She's Swedish.
Sure.
I don't know how to say the last name.
De
Jerf. Oh wait, let me see what do the comments say? I'm so sorry. Bloop says she's with me. What the F? That's absolutely messed up. The flabbers are gasted.
The flabbers are gasted.
Not new. It's been around forever.
Beg your finest pardon. People, I mean, stuff like that's been happening. I don't know.
Yasmin says, I wish creators would post things just to post it, not like for the likes or to top anyone else. I just post, make content that I want to see, not to follow the crowd. Same with my only flapjacks and my cosplays. Didn't know you had one, Yasmin. Sick, girl. I'll give you a shout out. But on a not positive note, trickling down into the next topic, Matilda DeJerf, she runs a popular clothing line called DeJerf Avenue. And she's under some fire this week because she has a bunch of employees coming out to allege that she has been a bully, essentially, in the workplace by not only just to the employees, but fat shaming models that are wearing her clothes. Like there's like messages and recordings of her saying that like, we can't publish this girl looks so fat in these clothes. There also is like an incident where she has a bathroom that is only for her to use, that people are not allowed to use. And I guess the sign fell off the bathroom. Somebody went and used it, and she demanded one of the employees to go scrub the toilet before she would go in. The article is in the Grazia report, which is like a fashion article, I guess, that comes out every once in a while. So
in the fashion space.
Yeah. I've never heard of this article before, but it's got good reviews. Like, people believe the stuff that's written in it. And I guess I just wanted to open up the conversation on this because, like, I know what it's like to work with employees and to like manage people, like on my music video sets, and like be respectful of people's times and their energy. And I guess it's just, I wanted to hear from you, like, in hearing something like this where somebody is a self-made business person and then is not treating their employees, how do you feel about like how to keep bullying out of the workplace?
It's so funny that you asked me this because like a week or two ago, I had a friend I hadn't seen in a decade. I do his wife's hair, and we worked for a small little startup company that was big on YouTube with DIY tutorial educational. It was all educational. And I worked in video games. I was an editor, and I did video game walkthroughs, and it was cool. It was a cool time. Yeah, it was a big job that I came out to LA for that kept me here. So I did that. And the owner of this company, the CEO, was a very unethical. He was a giant bully, but he was actually, big bully, but he was actually literally and figuratively in every way a small man.
Oh no.
So you can see how like he was and he had a flashy car, and he started this company, and he was just cruel to everybody. He would yell and get snarky with everybody, and he would call people idiots and say that they were dumb, and he would insult them. And he would make everybody else feel small around him. And the workplace, like you've probably heard of workplace culture. You go to a new job, if you mesh and vibe with the workplace culture of that company, then things are usually really good, right? Attitudes are on the same page. Everyone's treating each other respectfully. I go into a job do similarly where I'm like, I'm very adaptable. So I will narrow down my work culture and treat things like a family. And if you're running a company, you're running a business, you want your employees happy to produce better results in their work and have a better work day and do better for the company. And it just trickles down to like the overall end goal of like, we all have to be on the same page that we need to be successful as a team, and we have to work together as a team. But also with respecting the chain of command and everyone's roles so that things don't get like all over the place. Cause I've seen that happen plenty of times before where, too many chefs in the kitchen, too many ideas, too many things, nothing.
Which is so hard. Cause you want people to have a lot of good ideas. Especially when there's a bunch of artists
and we're all creative and we're like, and I still respect chain of command because of my past experiences working and understanding chain of command. Like you don't go to the big boss, you go to your first immediate supervisor or whatever to ask questions about things. And then from there, if things escalate. But yeah, just, you put out into the world and the universe what you want to try to receive in return. So, and like maybe this person it's a woman, and she probably had to like fight against to get into the position that she's in because she was bullied by her peers, maybe men, which is very common for women in any kind, even in fashion and makeup and hair. Most industries, entertainment, anywhere, there's more male CEOs than there are femme CEOs. Males get paid more, get paid more than femmes, et cetera, et cetera. Manses. And So like I look into like, oh, who hurt you? Like, what happened? What happened to you? And like, why are you projecting and putting that energy that you might have received out into, the universe? And like, people have bad days. You come in and you have a bad day one day and you start treating people shitty and poorly. And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, I'm just having it. My pyramid is here, or the pyramid is here. I need cookies and puppy commercials, and a donut.
No, I just wanted a donut today.
You just wanted a donut today. But yeah, like the fat shaming thing, it kind of brings me back to what was it, like 3 years ago? Lizzo.
Yeah.
When she was when she was fat shaming her dancers, and she was having unrealistic expectations of people who worked for her.
Yep.
And that bit her in the ass really poorly.
Yeah. And as a woman who's supposed to be standing for women empowerment, one, and then two, also like body positivity, that was so weird to hear. From her, I was shook. And she's starting to crawl her way back. I don't know how, but
I mean, maybe she's apologized and she's taken care of those people that sued her for XYZ. And I'm sorry, but if I'm doing something and I have like the one thing that she had did with her employees that upset me was she wouldn't let them use the restroom, and like they're just standing there peeing, and it's like, that is inhumane. That's like cruel, unusual punishment. Yeah. That's just so like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No part of that is good.
None of that. But yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know much about this, but this kind of stuff is happening all over the world all the time anyways.
Yeah. I think it's just shocking that it's an influencer, because like, there's such this like, I don't want to say everybody wants to be an influencer, but like there's a lot of people now when you ask them like, oh, I would love to have my own small business. I would love to create content every day. So there's this like achievability that anybody can make it as an influencer. And it's very true. But the problem is with something like this, where it's like you start stepping on people to get to where you want to go. And then it trickles down into her workplace. And I guess my biggest thing is that, like, I hope she seeks like therapy or some sort of
at least
counseling.
Figure out what's going on?
Yeah.
Again, HR, where are you? HR, come through.
Where is HR? Where is the lack of HR? Are they getting laid off for some reason? Like, what's going on? So,
but like, as an influencer and a content creator and being in the public eye, you have to watch every move.
Oh my God.
Everything you say, whatever you do, like, things come back, you know? So I hope she learns something and she apologizes to those she's caused harm to, and she strives to do better and gets treatment if that's the case. Again, go to therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy.
Just look into, I find myself actually pointing a lot of my fans to therapy, because there's a lot of times where there's a dynamic when you're a creator, because also like you want to be nice to the creator because they could post anything about you, but also the fans could come out and say stuff about you. So I always point a lot of people to therapy, as I have been a therapy student now for 2 years, close to 2 years, which is great. But yeah, it's nice to have an unbiased opinion and to like offload, so that way, you can just air out like, oh, I wanted to use my bathroom and someone used it, and just get that out of there and then move on. I don't know. I'm trying to make her relatable, but the problem is that I don't like this person. We don't know anything about her. This is all we got, but do better. Where's your HR?
The interwebs is forever.
It is.
Disastro TV just popping in. Hey.
Yeah.
Therapy and group therapy is my favorite. Group therapy is definitely a good thing, especially for
I've never done group therapy.
Well, like there's trauma response group therapy, there's mourning the loss of a loved one group therapy, there's like if there's a class action lawsuit against somebody, an employee, and as long as it doesn't go out of the whatever legalities when a lawsuit's happening, the employees could have group therapy together with somebody, like there's
that's cool.
Group therapy is kind of, it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like whatever, if you want that one-on-one session with somebody, that's great. But if you want to be around other people who had the same traumas as you or issues that you're going through, or even like addiction, group therapy is those addiction groups like AA and whatnot, and Narcotics Anonymous. Yeah. So it just depends. You know what's best for you and what your needs are. I mean, sometimes you don't, and a therapist is going to tell you.
Yeah. But, honestly, yeah. But we love that. We love accountability here. So yeah, if you can afford it, check it out. The next topic that I have that's a little bit lighter than the last two, that should kind of put us on the...
We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're coming back up. We're riding the tide. So I have another Only Flapjacks conversation that I, again, was in my little like group of content creators, and we all were noticing that there are now Instagram accounts and Only Flapjacks accounts that are being made by ex-boyfriends, by ex-managers, by people who we call them Only Flapjacks pimps because they don't do anything. They just, stand over us and are like, meh. So there are now tons of accounts out there that are not by the woman you think it is. And I urge you to watch the episode where Jim breaks down AI here on Delulu Canoe, because as soon as you can clock AI, you will then be able to determine which, like spend your money how you want to spend your money. If you want to give this girl $30, give her $30. But like, give it to the actual person and not some dude pretending and using photos of her. Oh,
don't get duped.
Don't get duped. And like, one of the big tips that I have is look for weirdly smooth skin. Like, no one has porcelain perfect skin. Like, you can totally tell that they're missing like wrinkles in their elbows or like their armpit.
It's all perfect.
Yes, like you can.
They have 7 fingers on one hand.
Look for their fingers.
Yes.
Like, double check that
their eyes don't match up right.
Yes. Look for all the little things, and also look at the backgrounds, because what they're doing now is they're taking, like, say there's your ex-boyfriend and he decides to make an account on you because he knows that people will give you $30. So what he'll do is he'll take your images and my images and mesh them together so it doesn't look like you, but it's like the same backdrop that you took the photo in. And they're using that to get people to give them money. So please, obviously I'm very passionate about this.
It's also been as long as like Facebook, Instagram, all of these social media platforms have been going on. It's been happening for years. It's just now it's easier. It's a little, albeit better. There's like, especially with the deep fake stuff too. Like, people are doing all kinds of things, and you think you're like talking to this person. You think you're gonna meet up with this person, especially the catfishers.
Yeah.
And they want money and they want things from you. And like, businesses do it too. Like, people do it on behalf of businesses. Like, oh, we're doing this giveaway.
Yes.
We just need your account for whatever. And it's like, be mindful of like accounts that reach out inside your DMs that want your money or want your card information or you want whatever. Like, just be careful with those kinds of things.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the giveaways. That's very true.
I see it with businesses all the time.
Dang.
Yes, but especially small independent businesses who like make their stuff and they're like, hey, I say every once in a while they do a post of like, this isn't me. Yeah. I am not asking you for money or giving you anything in your DMs. Like, please block and report. Always report when you see it. Don't just block them. Report the accounts.
Yeah. And bring attention to the creator, because a lot of times, like, I know Meta won't allow, like, you can't report an account on my behalf if they're pretending to be me. Like, it has to be the person claiming, which, sucks because you're creating more work for.
But then if you go to the original source that you think the person is, they can at least address it on their platforms. Like, hey, this isn't me.
Like, I'm telling you, I open up Only Flapjacks basically literally every day. And on my main home feed, I would say there's about like 7 to 8 fake accounts.
Wow.
It's wild.
That's overwhelming. Okay.
Yeah. So 23 people watching and 18 likes. Yes, go like it. Still waiting to see a therapist. Dang. Third-party pimps, they suck. You need to be able to cook the AI. Yes, cook them. Clock them. There's no such thing as smooth skin. Like, hello, we're not made of materials. Like a freaking plate.
Oh,
yes.
And speaking of AI, another thing I was telling Dara about earlier was I work with a lot of artists who go and they vend at different shows and conventions. And, artist alleys, small press and whatnot, they have their art that they're selling, fan art, whatever it may be. But they're starting to clock and see other artists who bring their art to vend and sell at these expos. And it's AI art. And when you go to like that particular artist's Instagram or their accounts or their website, the art doesn't match up. It doesn't line up that's what they're making, what they're doing.
That's wild.
And because artists usually know, they have to pay attention to these things like AI to know like that's not real. Like, again, watch the episode that Jim's on. To just kind of be like, pinpoint and see certain things. And then, but the conventions can't vet every artist that applies for Artist Alley for conventions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard and tricky unless you were to go up and like say something or, to them. But it's bad taste. It's lazy. It's incredibly lazy because they're just stealing assets and art from other people to put together their.
Because that's how it makes the art. Is that like it steals from other artists, right? And then kind of like
art AI is not good AI unless and I don't mind it when you're going to edit like a photo in Photoshop or an editing software on your app, like an app on your phone, to like fix or blemish something or stamp tool or whatever, or clone something. That's different. You're fixing stuff. But, and like AI used in technology to make the world a better place and, to find cures for cancer and things like that. I'm fine with those things.
Yeah.
But this kind of thing, the infringements and just the stealing from other artists just so you can make a quick buck, it's just so disrespectful and it's just messed up. It's gross. It's not good. And impersonating people and
there's no part of it that's good.
No.
With all that.
And I'm sure a lot of it is used in everyday, like politics, everything. It's not great.
There's no people that sell like coloring books on Amazon that all of the drawings are AI. So they're just grabbing like AI outlines of artwork and putting it in a coloring book, and then they're making hand over fist money. So just, do your best to be aware and
support small businesses.
Right. Like, I mean, we all should want to support other people for their hard work, no matter who they are. Like, I mean, obviously, unless they're problematic, but that's a different story. We should want to help others so that way, like, it's, I don't know, it's just good. Like, you should just want to do good and not support AI.
Yeah, it's good for the economy still, too.
There's a fake Anna Kendrick account on TikTok.
No, dare.
Not my favorite person. Oh, my goodness. But anyways, on that note, let's talk about another dark topic.
Oh, the cosplay community.
Gosh, it's just like we're just going down. We need to find like a wholesome story at the end. I'll find one.
We'll find something.
We'll find something wholesome. Or you know what? We'll do our toast at the end, and that'll be awesome. So Threads, you spotted a post, which I'm not on Threads as often as I'd like to be.
I auto post from Instagram to Threads.
Same. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, and I'm also not on Threads. But something was stirring up recently this week on Threads, and some friends was screen grabbing this post that a cosplayer made on Threads, putting it in Facebook and putting it in Instagram and adding their hot takes, their 2 cents to it. And like this may stir up some feelings, but this particular cosplayer, cyborg.trex on Threads, says, "Dear cosplay guests, cons don't owe you anything. Regular vendors have to pay the con to have a booth. They have to cover their own travel expenses, like hotels. They have to work the whole weekend selling their products to make a profit. Just because you're hosting meetups or doing panels, you do not deserve to be paid. You are there for free. The convention isn't making money by you being there. A con asking you to do stuff is what you have to do to earn the thing vendors have to pay for." And everyone's like, LOL, no. Like that's not right at all. And a lot of, some of the comments that people, or the takes that people are talking about is like, it's absurd. It's wrong. This is convention economics 101. Like cosplay guests are like celebrity guests. And like every convention, from my experience of like the last 10, 12 years doing this, judging contests, guesting at conventions, hosting, doing programming and panels and workshops and live demonstrations and things of that nature. Like every show is different. It's not cookie cutter. There's separate contracts. There's separate obligations. Like we are guesting at a show next year. We're really excited about in SoCal and May together, which is really cool. And some of our other friends, and I'm going to be judging that contest. But one of the obligations was, here's a contract. Like, great. I love it when a convention provides a contract because everything's there. This is what I owe the convention. Here's what the convention owes me. Some conventions have budgets to fly people out and put them up in hotels, maybe pay them appearance fees. The agreement is you are providing the service of being paid to promote the event, to promote with a code for people to buy tickets, to promote whether it's a cosplay contest to enter in, go to your panels, do all your programming, watch your demonstrations. You have to do those things. And In return, they're going to give you a booth. If they're local, maybe they'll put you in a hotel, maybe they won't. And again, following does have a lot to do with it. If a big following, you're going to bring in more numbers because your fans are going to pay the ticket price to go to the show to see you. No different than a celebrity who's doing their signings, making their money off of the signings, but then also people are buying tickets to go to the show to see them, and take photos with. And yeah. So you're doing that. But when they ask you, there was a show that I would guest at around the country that would have me participate in 3 things of programming. So it's usually 3 panels and prejudging for a contest and then attending the actual cosplay contest. Now, the time I'm taken away from my booth to do that, I'm taken away from potentially meeting fans and meeting people, gaining new fans, talking and engaging with fans, selling anything handmade that I made or my prints for all the cosplay and the work that I've done, and then them seeing in me in something new that I built and I made. Mm-hmm. When I would do live demonstrations for shows, I usually paid for all my materials, my appliances, the paints. I coordinated with a model to do a prosthetic application or transformation on them. I would do those things so that I had something engaging, educational to offer. The same with like cosplay makeup panels or wig panels or cosplay culture, anything that we're doing a lot at those shows. Mm-hmm. We should be compensated in some capacity. Like some people are happy to have a free booth. I'm happy to have a free booth. I can sell stuff there and hang out and vibe. Yeah. And be like, I'm just here to see my fans and my friends. Mm-hmm. Some people like, oh, this show 4 states away wants me to guest at. I'm going to ask for like maybe a flight. Maybe I'll take her my own hotel. And again, it's not cookie cutter. It's very different for every kind of guest. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things is when you do like contractually and for most shows, you are not allowed to talk about what you get paid. Same with the celebrities. They don't talk about what they get paid when they're going to these shows. Cosplayers should not be selling because everyone's going to be a little different. You might have someone who's got 4 million followers. They're getting an appearance fee to be there, flown out, hotel, and then they're having a couple of local cosplayers come and guest the show that can just drive to and from their homes. Mm-hmm. Maybe they're not getting paid, but they're getting a per diem. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get per diems. It just depends because we are taking our time away from it. It doesn't mean it's less fun. Like some of it is their livelihood. Mm-hmm. Some of them want to be, they are custom makers and they rely on these shows, no different from the vendors paying for booths to sell their stuff at shows to take care of their families and their livelihood. And this is their work. Right. So if I'm a costume designer, and I'm a cosplayer, I'm going to go to a show. I want people to find me so that they can commission me so I can get more work. And maybe I get discovered by a production company and I go work on set or whatever the case may be. It's just when you say that cosplayers they're not, and like this person did say, oh, meetups. They didn't really talk about anything else. Mm-hmm. It's like you can do meetups anywhere. Like, yeah, I don't think that's relevant. Like, oh, I'm hosting a meetup. It's like you can do it outside the convention. Never actually have to go inside the convention floor, which costs the show nothing or you nothing.
Which a lot of you have brought that up to me that would be a fun thing.
Yeah, to do. I think we should do some outside meetups. Depending on the show.
We'll see.
People have been, have gotten lots of great opportunities to go to, red carpet premieres based off different fandoms for the stuff that they build and they make. And it's just, there is a lot of nuance to it. So this person just outright saying this it's just wrong and it's weird.
To me, it just feels like it's this idea of like, you're so busy looking at someone else's plate being like, they don't deserve this, when it's like, what they get on their plate doesn't affect you and your plate, except for when you make a comment on it. So you're asking for people now to all look at you and be like, why would you say that? Like, that's literally like the euphemism I always use is like when the tide rises, all ships rise with it, right? Because like when the water goes up, all the boats go up. When we work together, we help each other, right? But this essentially is another boat coming in, cannonballing another boat.
And it affects them too.
And then everybody else comes and gangs up on you because you decided to be an idiot and go, I don't think anybody should get paid. How does it affect you?
Well,
does it.
Real quick tea. This person I heard from somebody, a pretty reputable source, this person apparently went to a convention as a cosplay guest, entered their cosplay contest and won, which is really against the rules. And I'm sure they won some sort of prizing or cash prizing.
Wait. So they had like a booth.
They were a guest at the convention.
Yeah. Yes. And then
they decided to enter the cosplay convention for the show they were guesting at. You don't do that.
Interesting.
Like that's a big no-no in my show at LACC. You can't be a guest
Okay.
and enter a cosplay competition. And maybe they won a prizing or something. But I'm just like, what? But also you're essentially shitting on like your own community and your own people. And like, don't you want to get paid?
Yeah.
Don't you want to like have some sort of agreement
so
or compensation for something that you're doing?
See, I would love to know the context of what is the context of this conversation? Why did they feel the need to post this? What was their goal? Because it sounds like,
or it's clickbait.
There could be.
Or what is it? Hate straight.
It's
rage bait.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, people are talking about it and talking about me.
But like it's not. I hate rage bait so much.
I know that. Yes. Like, tell me more. Rage.
It bothers me so much that you who is somebody who does go to conventions and somebody who has benefited per your source. You've monetarily benefited from entering in a competition and having a booth there. So it's like, why would you say that others don't deserve to get paid? Like to me, it's like the more people they pay to bring in, the better. Like they're only bringing their audience, their friends, you know what I mean? They're bringing in so many people to the con. And the whole point of conventions is to connect over like the love of characters.
Yes.
And for some people it's to make money. And for some people it's to show the cool things they built, you know, like we all go for different reasons, but I don't understand. I don't get it.
Angry.
Don't relate.
Confused.
Use the angry dog. I'm annoyed. Somebody in the chat use the I'm annoyed angry dog emoji.
I'm annoyed.
It's really cute. It's really dumb looking. I'll show it to you later.
But yeah, so that stirred up the cosplayer community for a good 2 or 3 days this week. And then another thing I saw today that I thought was really interesting was there was a meme going around, or just a block letter of someone said cosplay was more fun when it wasn't a beauty and clout contest. And then someone took like a red pen or a line, struck right through all of that, and then had their hot take on it, explaining why people have the mentality about that. And it kind of goes back to like the being first and popular and having, you know, the better body type to fit specific characters because of beauty standards, and, you know, getting more photos because they look like a certain type, and then, you know, being more sexier, and then that draws more attention because everything is like in a way driven by sex and money, because sex sells and money, but that doesn't mean it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
It's individually to people, it can, you know, it's like you could make it however you want it to be. Do whatever you want with cosplay, but you can make it, it'll still be fun for you. Like whether you're making money off it or doing sexy stuff or not, or whether you care about attention or not, it's still fun for you if you make it and you want it to be fun.
That to me tells me that they will go to conventions and are like butthurt when people won't take photos of them, and they're busy clouting around the girl who's wearing Vampirella. And I've been the person on both ends of the spectrum. Yeah. I've been froppy, where I'm totally zipped in up to my neck, to my wrists, and bip bopping around and talking like this all day. And then I go from that to like wearing a rubber band. You know what I mean? Like I understand the difference of like, when I make a choice to wear a cosplay, I essentially am determining how busy I'm going to be that day, depending on which one I pick. But on this person's level, when they're saying that like it's not fun anymore, I have way more fun when I get to be froppy, buttoned up, because I'm not worried about someone getting a bad photo of me from a weird angle or trying to touch me. And that to me says that they need to revisit, like if I'm going to give them advice that they didn't ask for, they need to revisit why they started doing cosplay in the first place. What is their why? Why are they here? Why do they build? Why do they dress up? And they need to like cherish that, because that is what makes cosplay fun. So anyways.
I'm going to read a couple of their hot takes that we're in agreement on. I have some hot takes, so get ready. Cosplay was always fun. This much is still intensely true. Getting dressed up, acting as your favorite characters, getting your picture took, it's all still there. The bones of cosplay have never changed, nor warped or broken. Media, capitalism, beauty standards changed the functionality of the convention. This is a gross understatement, but it still plays into the overall theme. As time progresses, things have a tendency to become more expensive. Let's break this down. A movie/piece of media comes out, merchandise gets produced, cosplayers buy materials to make their cosplay to their liking, photographers charge, take, and edit photos of said cosplay, cosplayers post pics and vids for likes / shares / influence. Adding into this, sex will always sell. Noting a theme rhymes with honey. Money.
Got it. Okay, I was like, what?
Influencers shifted how cosplay and conventions are viewed. Whether you're a sex worker, drag entertainer, voice actor, burlesque performer, etc., you have all seen the rise in social media mania created for likes and to generate money. There's that word I was referencing, which brings us to money changed cosplay and the convention. Not the influencers, not the models, not the competitors, and certainly not the creators. We are just acting in correspondence to the world around us.
Okay.
The simple reality is cosplay as it stands is a gateway for a lot of people, a way to be your most authentic self without fearing of judgment, without fear of persecution, without fear. Conventions aren't a secret anymore. Not that they ever were. They're no longer something you get made fun of at or for engaging in, but everyone knows about it because it has become an opportunity to be seen. And the promises of likes, views, sponsorships is incredibly alluring. But it's also work. A lot of time, money, and patience has to go into cultivating a career for yourself in convention life. Cosplay as a career isn't as easy as looking authentic in your cosplay. Like any job, it requires time, dedication, and networking. What was once something as easy as putting on a costume and going to a convention is no longer where the bar is. When you have experts in a field, that bar do be rising. All these bullet points come right back to the matter at hand. Cosplay was fun before X. And this person's like, baby, no one's stopping you from going to a con, dressing up, and having a ball. Yes, conventions have become expensive. Yes, hotels have increased their rates. Yes, materials are harder to come by. And yes, a gorgeous body will get more likes than a well-crafted costume. This is because sex and money rule over our society, society.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make it any less fun. It's still fun.
To me, it's more of a mindset thing. Like,
yes.
I agree with what they're saying that, like, money, because here's the thing. It's always hard for me to speak on the behalf of the cosplay community because I have not been in it as long as others before me. Whereas, like, I can definitely preach about the art noodle model industry till I'm blue in the face because I was there before only flapjack. So I have a bit of a pedestal in that lane, but not as much in cosplay, in my opinion. Maybe I do now, but in my opinion. To me, it's more about the individual who decided to post it and their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not fun for you anymore, again, you go back to the why. Why are you here? Like, is it for the attention? Is it because you like buying the merch when it comes out? Is it the connecting with the artists? And I won't lie and say that, like, as I've become more prominent in the industry, I have been very lucky that opportunities have just been handed to me, AKA literally sliding in the other day, getting a Vampirella comic book cover when I told you like 4 months ago that wasn't a goal I was ever chasing.
Yep.
Like, let's be realistic here, that I have a little bit of an advantage when I wear Vampirella to a convention, so much so that I was able to land a cover. But does that take away from my fun? Is that taking away from your fun? It shouldn't.
No.
Unless you really want, you can borrow my outfit and then we can take photos if you want. You know what I mean? It's like, it's got to go back to the mindset of like the person who posted this obviously saw something that made them feel like no longer cosplay is fun because of X. And you can't let what other people do deter you from what you make fun.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I don't know. Long story long.
Like, I mean, I have a handful of folks. Like I'm not by any means a societally standard skinny person. I'm not a small person. I don't wear a lot of revealing things often, but I have a handful of friends who don't and they choose not to, and friends who have different body types who do and don't give an F and are having a blast and having fun and whatever, because body positivity, and folks who are just uncomfortable with like themselves and they have their insecurities and they're it's unfortunate, but they get upset when more people are more thinner, fit model type, skinnier, whatever descriptions, revealing cosplayers are getting more photos taken of them. And it goes back to, why are you cosplaying? What is it your goal? Do you want to take more photos? Is that what it is? Is that why you're upset and why it's not fun for you is because of that example right there?
Right.
Or is it not fun for you because you can't find those materials anymore? You can't because then you start judging these other cosplayers and these photographers, and yes, like, do I agree? Some photographers often don't shoot people of color, plus size, etc. Or
which is awful.
It is awful. No, it's awful.
I'm gonna say it how it is.
It is awful.
That to me is wild.
It is. And when you call them out, and if they choose not to, then they're a-holes and F them.
And that's them. That's on them. Yep.
That's totally on them. But then there are folks that like you can stop and go up to somebody like, hey, I would like you to photograph this. I'd worked really hard on this. This is really great. Do you mind grabbing some photos? Or set up your own photo shoots. And this is just an example of like something that I hear people complaining about a lot. And like sometimes I don't want to be naive and be like, oh, I don't complain about it because I don't see it. It's like that's not important to me.
Yeah.
Because what's important to me is different than what's important to them in that moment. Mm-hmm. So everyone's experience is different. Sure. This cosplayer is making money. I'm not. I'm upset. Cosplay isn't fun anymore. Mm-hmm. No. Backtrack. Yeah. It's not fun because that's what you decided to die on, that hill. It's like you're not making money and that's what
you decided is important.
That is important to you, to your fun and your cosplay. And it's like, that's why it's like, again, nuances. Everyone's experience is different. Everyone's feelings about it are different.
And I get it that a lot of people's joy in cosplay does come from admiration. We love to hear that, like, oh my gosh, I love your wig. Yeah. Your cosplay looks amazing. Can I get a photo of it? So it's like, I will never knock somebody else down for wanting more attention because we are humans. We innately want attention. We want love. We want praise. But somebody else's attention should never take away from your own.
Yeah.
It's just like competing in pageants.
It's like community, man.
Like we're not competing against each other. You're competing against yourself.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, see, look at me in my pageantry background. Oh, my top just came.
Are you okay?
Yeah. My top just popped because I got so mad about it. I don't know. I won't sit here and pretend like I don't have those feelings. Oh, thank you. Like there's been times where I'll see somebody who's in an Amazon outfit and I get kind of like, oh, look at all the attention they're getting. I wish like I was more popular, or they've got 10 million followers and I don't, like I fell down that rabbit hole too. But then I have the moment in my brain where I go, hey, like their success doesn't take away from my own. And you kind of have to like dial it in a little bit instead of posting on the internet, cosplay's not fun anymore.
And their success shouldn't take away from your joy.
Yeah.
And like you don't know what they're experiencing either. They could be upset because they can't rock something that you're rocking, and they're like, "Well, I'm not going to do that character because this person does it all the time." Like, or just
I do that a lot.
I know. Or whatever. That's like, an example.
I'm like, oh, that girl does that one a lot, so I'm not.
Or like, there's a cosplayer
she looks good.
I'm like, oh, this cosplayer has a big YouTube channel, and they have time to show their DIY stuff. I don't, because I'm working all the time, but I work hard. I look good too, and it's just like,
that's why you're helping me with my channel.
Yes.
You get nothing for it, but positive praise.
You get to live in your closet.
Wee.
But anyways, so let's
cheers.
Shall we salute?
Salute everybody.
Cheers.
Happy New Year. I hope you have a wonderful evening tonight or day.
And let's spread that positivity in all the industries and communities moving forward into next year. And we're building it up. We're lifting each other up. We're gonna hang out. We have cosplay groups planned. We have a bunch of fun stuff. We have shows. We have conventions. No tearing down.
Only helping other people
compliment
uplift.
Everybody. Yeah, lift each other up.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right, I'm scared. What is this?
It's an energy drink.
Mm.
Just no alcohol. It's
champagne.
What's it called? Champagne.
No, it's Aluni. Alani.
Alani.
Aluni.
Aluni.
I'm
Aluni.
I have so much energy.
I feel like we had so much to talk about. That was a lot.
I know there was a lot of negative
things.
I mean, usually we end after an hour.
There was a lot that happened this week, you guys.
It's like they knew DeluluCanoeS was down, and then everybody was like, trauma dump.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any positive things to talk about before we go? We should end on positive notes. Anybody want to share? Top popping tea. Honestly, yes.
Oh, should we tell them where we're going in February?
Sure. Yeah, let's start with that.
Okay.
You tell them, because I forgot.
Yeah. So guess where we're going to make an appearance to for all you Floridians? We're going to MegaCon.
Woo!
Going back to MegaCon. That's going to be very exciting. We're working with an artist to do some new stuff, and she might do a pop-in sign-in at one of these booths. But you guys you're going to get all that information later. It's going to be really exciting.
As we solidify, because we got some cool stuff to announce, but we just got to make sure it's like the pins where I was like, I might have pins, but I don't know. So waiting on things to be solidified. I know Yasmin's hosting a panel there. We have to definitely come see you. You're doing a panel on how to survive a cosplay, right? Or not a cosplay. How to survive a convention. Oh my gosh. I need a panel.
Yeah. And we're also trying to get back into, or not get back into, but I've done panels all over at
For
different
you, you're
conventions.
trying to get back into paneling.
Well, yes and no. Well, it depends. For you, trying to get you into doing some panels.
I know. I gotta write the WonderCon one.
Did you get that email?
Did they already close it up?
I don't
They
know.
probably already closed
I gotta
it.
be honest. Maybe it's just I don't know. But Yasmin, if you're going to New York or anywhere else over there and you would like some other moderators,
Support.
Yeah, a moderator or some other panelists, let us know. We love all topics, and we want to get Dara on some panels.
Ooh, Bloop! I might be talking at a panel disabled convention in my local town. Yes,
please. That's amazing. We did a panel this year for Cosabilities, and it was disabled cosplayers and how we navigate conventions and how we navigate our costumes and how we. No, it was great. We need more of that. It was really good. It was really important.
I would love to know more about panels like that because I would go and support those.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how we do the meetups, is that we have everybody meet up before a panel like that.
That's a great idea.
And go and support. Cheer them on.
That was
That'd
at
be
WonderCon
great.
this year.
Do that.
I invited you. But still, you probably got busy.
There was only
running around as Vampirella in the rain.
Yeah, I got really sick from that, so won't be doing that again.
But yeah, Bloop, that's amazing. I'm so glad that.
Yasmin says, I'm down. Message me on IG. You have 0 ideas. Oh, Chrissy will help you. Let me just volunteer you. I'm kidding. We will help you together a little, not a lot, maybe. Pending Chrissy's response.
Lots of things.
Whatever you need. Well,
I have all the time in the world.
You guys are amazing. Honestly, I'm always nervous to do public speaking. So if that like helps you at all to know that like it can be a lot, but channel the nervous energy into excitement. And honestly, have a freaking note card. Don't go in with nothing. Honestly, that saves me so much, is having just bullet points.
Also, really important.
Literally did today for
have meetings with your fellow panelists before you even have the panel.
Yes.
Yeah. And the big pro tip for paneling, if you have a really good moderator, you guys will be fine. A moderator is going to ask the appropriate right questions, get you guys open-ended questions, be able to like answer, ask questions to the audience, and then keep you guys timed. And like if someone's talking too long, like having a good moderator is good for that.
Yeah. See, I in theory am like, I want to be a moderator, but I know I'd be terrible at it. Like I'd
rather see you as a panelist. I'd rather see you talking about a subject that you feel strong about.
Yeah.
Unless you're the moderator of your own panel and it's your own topic, then you can kind of keep, Yeah.
I mean, I did take public speaking in high school.
Let me say it's
a while ago. I'm a little rusty.
I'm still soft spoken.
I can't read the chat. I'm the only one on my panel. Oh my gosh! So do you need people? Yeah. When is your panel? We will
message us for MegaCon. Yeah, we don't have booths. We're not guests. We're just going to vibe.
We have 0 accountability. We might be popping into 2 booths while we're there because of the vamp cover that I somehow randomly landed. Just talking about my ADHD and cervical cancer. Yes, girl, I got you.
Yeah.
We'll help you. We'll DM you on Instagram. We'll help you out. That's what we're here to do. Build up the community.
Yeah.
All boats rise with the tide.
We can create a cool topic around that for sure.
Or we could just assist you if you just want to do like just you solo show, and we'll help you. We'll pop in and be like, hey, that was a great story. You should tell them about this. Like we can help prompt you.
Yeah.
We can hold your hand.
And you have panels are usually 50 minutes. So do you have 50 minutes worth of that to talk about? You probably have hours worth of that to talk about.
If not, no worries.
But yeah, I mean,
we can make it all about you.
Possibilities, man. Folks with ADHD, neurodivergent, introverts, people with physical disabilities, or just stage fright, people afraid to be. Yeah, like just so many, and it's all relatable.
Yeah,
lots of folks are out there dealing with the same things. Some people won't even cosplay or go to places because they're dealing with those things. And I'm, as a person who is disabled, I'm all about where's the ADA compliance. Mm-hmm. I love to see the ADA compliance.
Yeah, you would be great for her panel if you need a +1. not trying to volunteer.
I'd love to go
if you want help.
Also.
Yes.
So as soon as you have the schedule, let us know where it's at and when, and we'll put it on I will put it on our calendar.
Yes, you let us know what you're comfortable with.
Support.
We just want to help support you in your dreams. On that note, it's now 20 minutes later than we usually do, but that's okay.
It's fine.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Yeah. Energy train.
Happy New Year, you guys. Okay, fine. I'll catch up.
Shot. Well, I gotta eat so that way when I drink tonight, it won't be a disaster.
You need to. There's a lot of food tonight too.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I have.
That's
all I got. Lots of love to you all. No one else really said anything. Let me double check in case anybody else had a topic that they want us to.
February 7th, 10 a.m. It's Cosplay HQ. Okay, putting it in.
Put it in the calendar.
Yeah.
So that way I won't forget. Have I remained covered this whole time? I've really been trying to keep myself in. This is not a good top for sitting.
I've been keeping an eye on you.
Have you?
I
keep trying to put my hair in front.
No.
It's this top. I got it from the billboard shoot.
It's pretty.
And I love it, but I barely fit in it.
What room is the panel in?
Star Wars cosplay.
What did you say?
February 10th, 10 a.m. at Cosplay Headquarters.
Okay.
I had the cosplay contest charge next time. Wait, what? You're going to enter? Have a happy new year. Be safe. Bye, blue, blue, blue.
Bye.
Happy New Year's in 40 minutes from Matthew. Woo, woo. Can't wait to go to New York. Oh my gosh. New Year's Eve parties like you guys. We're actually not going to a party. We're
going to a house dinner.
We're going to one of my editor's houses.
Yeah. It's great.
I just really want to make sure he's working really hard.
Yeah.
Even on holidays.
I think they're live streaming. I think the Cosmo Network is live streaming tonight.
Really? Oh man.
Maybe.
Okay.
Question mark.
Well,
question mark.
Y'all will see me there then. That's fine. No, people are charging cosplayers to be in the contest at Conventional.
Oh.
Conventional? Is that a typo?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you charge for people to enter your competitions? Oh, okay.
So there's a World Summit. There's one of the biggest cosplay competitions in Japan every year, and then Fan Expo has their own World Summit where they pick their first or third tier shows. Toronto, MegaCon, Dallas, and then a couple others where the people who won those competitions go on to the big show. So it's like one of those type of things. There's a big contest down in South America, but Japan, I think it has the biggest one.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
and it's not like it's a universal competition.
I mean, I don't know if this is the right comparison, but like, I kind of get maybe why they would charge people to enter, because otherwise then how do they pull prize money if they're not as
Sponsorships, you get prize money from sponsorships.
Right, but if they don't have a lot of if they're...
Well, you know what I mean? There's lots of competitions that aren't cosplay related that you have to pay to enter.
Yeah.
You know that.
It's like,
pageants,
right? Pageants you pay to enter. Same thing with like when I used to perform at the state fair.
Shows.
I would go and like enter in the...
I wouldn't say
the county ones.
That makes sense.
To be in it.
Yeah.
And then you would get the prize money if you placed in the top 3, and then top 2 would move on to the state fair, and it's a whole thing. So like, I don't know that it's a bad thing that they're charging.
It's a bad thing.
Especially
I just wouldn't do it at a
doable.
small show. If there's a big cash prize, then that makes sense. Even if it's not, if it's just bragging rights and a giant trophy, like whatever, cool. But to apply and compete in certain things, yeah, paying an application fee and a registration fee, that's normal.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Yeah. I mean, but if they're
you're
just
already spending thousands of dollars on your
yeah.
costume, you're like, oh god. Well, you have to pay for a credit report when you apply for an apartment.
Yeah, there you
go.
You
have to pay. You got to pay to play.
Yeah, there you go.
You got to pay to cosplay.
All right, we're gonna officially go now because otherwise, not very many people are bringing up.
You want another donut?
Topics. Yes. Oh, that maple donut.
I made pumpkin roll.
Oh. Probably. Well, I need to eat lunch, but thank you all so much for joining us for DeluluCanoeS. We appreciate you all coming by. Sorry, a lot of the topics were kind of dark. Didn't think it would go that way, but it is what it is.
I don't have any good news other than
stay safe.
We're going to MegaCon.
Yes, MegaCon.
Yeah.
We've got some cool stuff happening there. You're probably gonna style my hair tomorrow. That's good news for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're gonna wash that hair?
Maybe. I gotta go. Get my extensions replaced.
Yeah.
So I think on the 2nd or the 3rd I have that. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Let's just sit here and talk about. I need a shower. I need to do my makeup.
Live. We're having important conversations.
Did you send the contract to this person? Okay. Bye, everybody. Happy New Year. Be amazing. Bye.